Disclaimer. I don't agree, condone, none of this. Another one. Shout out to Death Thor for this video. I saw it and I just had to react to it. I mean, I ain't never know of nobody making human soup before, so it's crazy. But let's see. It's crazy. Crazy. I'm gonna say it again. It's crazy. What?
The name El Pozolero.
Bruh. This man said he ain't chopped them up. He ain't did nothing. Whole body.
Strikes fear into the hearts of those who know it, because that name belongs to the man who was paid to make soup, but not just any kind of soup. A soup made of human flesh and bones. A soup that dissolved the evidence of hundreds of murders committed by ruthless drug cartels. This is the story of Santiago Mesa Lopez, also known.
Oh, okay. Okay, so he was really on their payroll. He was one of probably their main top guys that was like, he was getting rid of the evidence. But soup, bruh? Soup? Hold on. Was he putting seasoning in there or what?
As El Pozolero, the stew maker, he was the man who worked for the two most notorious drug cartels in Mexico and was responsible for disposing of over 1,000 bodies in
What?
of acid. Guess what he said when he was captured?
What?
He said he was making a seafood soup. But how
Cap.
did this man end
Cap.
with this group?
He was making a what? Hold on. Cap. Let's go back.
Disposing of over 1,000 bodies in barrels of acid. Guess what he said when he was captured? He said he was making a seafood soup. But how did this...
Bro, we don't live... Bruh. Since when did humans become like fishes and stuff like that, bruh? I thought, bro, we live on the... Bruh, I mean like, we don't... Bruh. No, we are not fishes, bro. You can't make... We are not nothing that live... We don't live on the water, bro. We live... Bruh. No, you can't make seafood soup with us, bruh. No.
And end up with this gruesome job? What did he do with the remains that didn't dissolve? And what happened to him after he was captured by the authorities? In this video today, we're going to explore the brutal life of El Pozolero, the man who made human soup for cartels.
Bro. Human soup?
How Santiago Mesa Lopez became El Pozolero, but a stew maker. We need to go back in time to his origins in the context of events.
Where's he from, bro? Because he from something. He ain't...
Which can be traced to the arrest of the godfather of Mexican drug cartels, Miguel Angel Felix Gallardo, who goes by the alias El Padrino. Miguel Felix.
All right. I think this guy, he one of them top guys. He probably a legend. I think he before Chapo and them, because I like watching these type of stuff. He way before Chapo and them. What? That's crazy, bro. So this was the owner of the restaurant? What the rust, dog? What the hell, bro?
Gallardo was a Mexican drug lord who founded the Guadalajara cartel in the 1980s. He was one of the pioneers of large-scale illegal substance trafficking in Mexico.
Disclaimer, I gotta smoke to this one. I'm not even gonna lie. I gotta smoke one. Excuse me.
That established connections with Colombian cartels to import marijuana into the United States. He also controlled most of the smuggling routes in Mexico and along the border with the United States. However, his drug empire began to crumble after he made what would be the greatest mistake of his life. He ordered the abduction, torture, and murder of a DEA agent and
What?
Kiki Camarena in 1980.
Bruh, this one you feel like you bigger than the law. You murdered a DEA agent? Bruh. You tripping. I'm drooling talk. Bruh, you tripping. Y'all don't know y'all limits, huh? Let's keep going.
This provoked a massive manhunt by the U.S. and Mexican authorities, who raided his ranch and
Thanks.
seized tons of drugs and weapons. Felix
Whoa.
Gallardo was eventually arrested in 1989 and sentenced to 40 years in prison for
We ain't seeing him again.
substance trafficking and murder. While incarcerated, he tried to maintain the leadership of his his cartel, but he was eventually transferred to a maximum security prison in the 1990s, where he lost most of his influence and contact with the outside world. As a result, his old organization, the Guadalajara Cartel, broke up into three main factions.
That's what happened when they out of sight, out of mind. That's all. You're out of sight, out of mind. That's how you lost your power, my guy. Let's keep going. But you got 40 years, bro. That's life plus.
Tijuana Cartel, led by his nephews, the Arellano Felix brothers, the Juarez Cartel, led by his former associate, Amado Carrillo Fuentes, and the Sinaloa Cartel, run by his former lieutenants and sicarios, Hector Luis Palma Salazar and the infamous Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. These factions competed for territory and power. They often clashed violently with each other and with other rival groups. The Juarez Cartel was known for its brutality and corruption, but it was weakened.
Bruh. Got Chapo in the mix. I wonder why he got 1,000 bodies. He done cooked 1,000 bodies. Golly. Chapo in the mix. That's why. Shh, let's go.
The arrests and deaths of several of its leaders. With the Juarez Cartel out of the way, the Tijuana Cartel and the Sinaloa Cartel emerged as the most powerful and resilient. They expanded their operations across Mexico and abroad, despite facing multiple arrests and extraditions of its leaders. The Tijuana Cartel controlled the lucrative smuggling routes in Baja California and along the border with the U.S., while the Sinaloa Cartel operated in Sinaloa, Sonora, Durango, Jalisco, and other states. The two cartels initially cooperated, but soon became rivals over territory and market share. The war escalated in 1992 when Ramon Arellano Felix.
Honestly, this some nigga shit, bro. Well, we can't all make money and get along, bro. Come on, bro. Bruh.
The enforcer of the Tijuana Cartel ordered a hit on Rodolfo Carrillo Fuentes, the brother of Amado Carrillo Fuentes, and an ally of the Sinaloa Cartel. The Sinaloa Cartel retaliated by sending hitmen to take out Ramon Arellano Felix and his brothers. This war turned into a bloodbath, with hundreds of killings on both sides. The violence spilled over into other states and cities, such as Guerrero, Michoacan, Oaxaca, and Mexico City. The war also involved other cartels, such as the Gulf Cartel, which sided with the Sinaloa Cartel, and the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, which emerged as the Sinaloa Cartel, an ally with the Tijuana Cartel. The war
The Jalisco is up right now. Like, since Chapo went in, this shit done changed up. That's what I heard, at least on the news and stuff. That's what I've been seeing on here and stuff like. But this is crazy. Let's see what's going on.
The Tijuana Cartel and the Sinaloa Cartel was one of the most violent and prolonged conflicts in the history of the Mexican drug trade. This war plagued Mexico with drug-related violence that claimed thousands of lives for decades as different criminal organizations competed for control of the lucrative drug trade routes.
So all this was probably funded by Escobar too. Escobar had to have something to do with this because it's coming from Colombia. Most of this stuff coming from Colombia.
The United States and other markets. An average of 30 to 40,000 people went missing every year from the final quarter of 1995 to the early 2000s when former...
Bruh. 30 to 40,000. Let me see how much. This is some crazy numbers of people going missing, bruh. Damn.
An average of 30 to 40,000 people went missing every year from the final quarter of 1995 to the early 2000s when former President Felipe Calderón launched a military campaign against the cartels. This
do these government officials really be trying to stop this shit, or are they just a part of this shit, bruh?
But also innocent civilians, journalists, law enforcement officers, and government officials who were caught in the crossfire were targeted by the cartels. What's worse was the terrible fate their victims suffered. Many of them were tortured, killed, and disposed of in the most gruesome ways. Some had their heads removed from their bodies, their remains hung from bridges, while some were thrown into rivers or left in public places as a message to the rival cartel. It was a horrifying sight. But then, something changed. The bodies stopped appearing. Was this a sign of peace? No, it was far from it, because the violence continued and the people were still missing by the thousands. So what happened to their bodies? Santiago Mesa Lopez made them into soup. Santiago Mesa Lopez was born.
Bruh, so he's saying 1,000, bruh. I'm thinking this nigga done cooked way more than 1,000 people, bruh. Yeah, 30 to 40,000 people going missing every year, bruh. You cook way more than that. Yeah.
1964 in Guam. Guamuchil, Sinaloa. Guamuchil is located in the heart of the Golden Triangle, a region that produces most of the marijuana and opium poppy in Mexico. It is also the home of the Sinaloa Cartel, one of the most powerful and violent criminal organizations in the world. Santiago was one of 9 children of his parents, Rita Lopez Montoya and Salvador Mesa. Like many Sinaloan families at the time, Santiago was born into poverty, but he didn't wait for anyone to put food on his table. He learned to fend for himself at a very young age and became a highly skilled mason. The young man was so good at his skill that his work caught the eye of
So what changed him?
the cartel run by the Arellano brothers.
How you go from being a mason to the top chef in Mexico? Bro, how do you go from being a mason to the top chef in Mexico?
They hired him to do some construction work for them and to take care of their horses. Santiago proved to be a loyal and hard-working employee who never questioned his bosses or complained about his tasks. He worked like a soldier with an incredible work ethic, so they decided to bring him on board and teach him the ropes of their drug trade business because he has proven himself to be a valuable asset. Santiago joined the Tijuana cartel, and this marked the beginning of his journey into the world of organized crime. He rose through
Tijuana, I think that's God damn, bruh. That's crazy though, bruh. Human soup.
ranks of the cartel, from drug dealer to the rank of drug office keeper. He was in charge of overseeing the cartel's depots in Tijuana, where they stored and distributed their drugs. It was a risky job.
That's definitely
but 50 years down the line,
Chopper
Santiago
route,
was
I
still
think.
alive and still had his job. However, things got more complicated when the Arellano Felix organization entered into a brutal war with their rivals, the Sinaloa cartel. The streets of Tijuana became a battleground where thousands
Yeah,
of people were
because
killed and
that's
bodies
both of
were
their
buried.
streets, damn near.
Millions of their
Because
victims were hung on
that's
bridges,
what
some
I
littered on the
think.
streets, and
I
others
think I don't know. I think that's one of their main routes right there, Tijuana, because it's probably close to the border and stuff like that. I think I don't know. Don't quote me on it. If you know, drop it in the comment section. I don't know.
in the river. This gruesome scene attracted the attention of the Mexican authorities, as well as the American law enforcement agencies such as the DEA and the FBI. The cartels realized that they had to find a way to get rid of the bodies quickly and discreetly, or else they would be traced back to them one way or another, and that would not be good for their line of business. But how could they possibly get rid of thousands of human bodies that were casualties of the drug war without leaving any traces? So the Arellano Felix brothers decided to seek some expert advice from some shady characters who were skilled at making people.
Bruh, see? Well, I think he done cook way more than 1,000 people. He's saying 1,000, bruh. No. Put some big numbers in front of that or something. Put some more numbers in front of that. Like 5, 10,000, 20, 30,000. Because you said 40,000 people, 30 to 40,000 people is going missing every year. That mean that them peoples was cooking, unless y'all got some more chefs that we don't know about.
Disappear. Their solution was simple but sinister, because they were told to turn their victims' bodies into soup and their bones into dust. The
What?
Arellano brothers loved this ingenious idea for several reasons. First, it would make their victims vanish without a trace. Secondly, it was cost-effective, and no DNA evidence would be left behind. But there was a catch. They needed someone they could trust to do the dirty work. Someone who would not squeal, faint, or vomit at the sight of human remains. Someone who had the stomach for it. So they asked their most trusted lieutenants, Efrain Perez and Jorge Arellano Felix, to find such a person. And guess who they pointed at? Santiago Mesa Lopez. But they decided to test him with an experiment to ascertain his suitability for this new assignment. A twisted,
How do you
trial
test
by
somebody
fire.
for that?
They invited Santiago to a room where they had prepared a 200-liter drum filled with a caustic concoction of soda, water, and other chemicals. They handed him a large piece of meat and asked him to drop it into the drum and stir it until it dissolved. Santiago did as he was told without asking any questions. He watched as the meat melted into the liquid, turning it red and bubbly. He didn't flinch, gag, or hesitate.
Yo. So this man looked like he passed his test on the first day of school. He didn't even have to study. Because remember from like back in this, they said that he didn't ask no questions way back when he came in as a construction worker. So now he's in culinary school and he's learning how to cook. OMG.
He passed the test.
Golly.
Thousands of thoughts running through his mind as he carried out this strange task. However, everything became clearer to him 6 months later, as they called him in for the second phase of the experiment, the human trial. The setup was pretty much the same, except that this time, several henchmen were watching, and the object of the experiment was no longer a chunk of meat, but the dead body of a victim of the cartel's war. Santiago was ordered to strip the body and stuff it into the drum of death containing corrosive solutions and different chemicals. He did as he was asked. Without blinking an eye, they watched as some part of the body started moving into the liquid a few moments.
Yo. Bruh. Some people just different, boy. Some people just different. I'm from Jamaica, but this ain't it. We ain't got them out there. It's a lot of gruesome stuff up there happening out there, but not this. Man, yo, man, cold blooded. Let's go.
So they left it there overnight. The next morning, they came back to see the body had completely dissolved into the liquid, leaving behind a barrel of sludge and some bone fragments. Santiago would then resume his new duty under the title El Pozolero, which means the stew maker. This name comes from the word pozole, which
El Pola's arrow, steel maker. Golly.
a traditional Mexican soup or stew made with meat, corn, and other ingredients. This title was the most suitable for him since he stirred the bodies in the barrel of chemical mixture as though he were making a pot of pozole. As the stew maker, Santiago Mesa Lopez had a simple but gruesome task to dissolve the bodies of their victims in acid, making them disappear without a trace.
So he wasn't the killer. He was just
destroying the cartel's
basi-
enemies. El Pozolero was making
basically he wasn't the killer. He was just the guy doing the mortician work, basically. Well, not even. Let's just keep his name as the chef, the stew cooker, or whatever they called him earlier, bruh. Just
stew with what was left of their bodies and erasing every bit of evidence of the cartel's crimes. El Pozolero operated in several locations, mostly in remote ranches or farms near the border with the United States. He took deliveries of the bodies at different locations where they had been told they would be dropped off for him. In very good months, the stew maker got 30 to 50 bodies to dissolve. As a seriously minded businessman, El Pozolero made sure that he had his tools handy and enough ingredients to make his recipe at all times. These included oil barrels, latex gloves, gas masks, and corrosive.
oh, that's how you know this man was about his business. He made sure he had everything ready to go. Yo, bro, man, condolences to everybody who lost their life, the family, and everything. But this guy's crazy, bruh.
Chemicals like caustic soda, which is a highly corrosive substance that can burn skin, eyes, and mucous membranes. El Pozolero used a mixture of water, caustic soda, and other corrosive chemicals to dissolve human remains. He would chop up the bodies into smaller pieces and dump them into the barrels filled with this solution. The process could take several hours, depending on the size and number of bodies. He would stir the mixture occasionally with a wooden stick or a metal rod as he added more water or caustic soda as needed to maintain the right consistency and temperature. The parts that did not dissolve completely, like teeth and some bone fragments, were burned with gasoline and buried in shallow graves or underground pits, while the liquid that remained in the barrels was poured into pits or wells or dumped into rivers or streams. But as he advanced and became more skillful, he constructed drainage systems that made it easier for him and his crew to dispose of the remains without having to carry the heavy barrels of liquid fire.
Bro, he had to get more complicated with it. If he went in like that and he started ordering supplies like he opening a store, especially they started bringing him like 30 something, 50 bodies a month. I'm thinking they was bringing him more bodies than that, bro. That's crazy. Only people probably was showing up is the people that they wanted to send a message with. All them other peoples was just like, just gone. Stew, soup.
El Pozolero was said to have dissolved over 1,000 bodies during his career, and for his services, he
I
was
don't
making around
think.
$600 weekly, which was about 3 times the national average salary.
What? Bruh. This man was only making $600 a week. It ain't making no sense to me. You cooking like 50 bodies a month, and you making 600. All right, 4 times 6, that's 24. So it's $2,400 for 50 bodies. So that's like $50 a body, damn near. You feel me? Or a little bit more. You feel me? Like, bruh, come on, bruh. Come on now. That's crazy.
Mexico. However, the stew maker estimated that he dissolved at least 300 bodies in his 9 years of active service, but forensic investigation sources suggested that the number could be much higher. He said that he did not
I think the number high too.
He didn't. He was only following orders.
And I'm not forensic.
Teodoro Garcia Cemental, El Teo, whom he started working directly under at some point in his career. Teodoro Garcia Cemental was one of the most violent and ruthless drug lords in Mexico, who rose to prominence in the late 2000s. As a leader of the splinter fraction of the Tijuana cartel, he was known for his brutal methods of disposing of the cartel's enemies, which involved abduction, torturing, and eventually ending their lives. The victims of his killings eventually ended up in El Pozolero's corrosive solution barrels. So it makes sense that the two worked hand in hand. Together, El Teo and El Pozolero were responsible for the disappearance and death of hundreds of people in Tijuana and its surroundings.
Man, come
El Teo
on,
started
bro.
his criminal career in 1995 when
These
he
guys can't tell you the real number.
under the orders of Ramon Arellano Felix, one of the founders of the organization. He quickly gained a reputation for his cruelty and efficiency, which earned him the nicknames El Teo, El Tres Letras, El Lalo, and El Alamo.
Hold on one
He was
second.
friends with another surroundings. El Teo started his criminal career in 1995 when he joined the Tijuana cartel as an enforcer under the orders of Ramon Arellano Felix, one of the founders of the
Oh
organization.
shit.
He quickly gained a reputation
That's
for his
one of them
cruelty
big
and
guys.
efficiency, which earned him the nicknames El Teo, El Tres Letras, El Lalo, and El Alamo. He also became close friends with another cartel boss, Joaquin Guzman Lorera, better known as El Chapo, the leader of the rival Sinaloa cartel. In 2008, after the arrest of Eduardo Arellano Felix, another founder of the Tijuana cartel, a power struggle erupted within the organization between El Teo and Luis Fernando Sanchez Ar.
Bruh. Some nigga shit. Why we always gotta fight over our money and power, bro? Why we all can't just be powerful, bro?
A nephew of the Arellano Felix brothers, El Teo decided to break away from the cartel and form his own gang with the support of El Chapo and the Sinaloa cartel. This sparked a brutal war over control of Tijuana's drug trafficking routes, which resulted in a surge of violence in the city. Meanwhile, El Teo took the stew maker El Pozolero alongside with him when he left the Tijuana cartel to join forces with El Chapo and the Sinaloa
The steel maker. Yo. El Chapo happy to have that man.
cartel. This duo would then form a formidable force against their former colleagues at the Tijuana cartel. While El Teo and his sicarios were doing the killings, El Pozolero and his crew were making hot stew of the bodies of their former comrades.
What?
For nearly 10 years, El Pozolero operated under the radar, leaving no trace of his victims. He was a ghost.
Bro, I'm not no mathematician, but 10, 5, 500, 10. Alright, hold on. So 10 times 50, that'll be 500, right? Plus another 2, that's 600. For 10 years, that's to 6,000, bro. That's 6,000 bodies if you averaging that number. Like, well, he got 300 from. This guy can't count. He might mean 300,000.
Legend, a myth. No one knew who he was, where he was, or what he was doing. He was the perfect weapon for the cartel. But his reign of terror came to an end on January 25th, 2009, when he was discovered by the authorities. It was a day that changed his life and the lives of many others. It all started in 2005 when 2 kidnappers affiliated with El Teo were apprehended and interrogated. During questioning, they confessed to
They
abducting
rat.
and fatally harming 3 individuals before transferring them
Ah,
to the
man.
Sinaloa cartel cleanup
El
known
Rata.
as El Pozolero. Their testimonies, accompanied by precise accounts of Santiago's appearance and actions, proved pivotal in revealing the identity of the infamous stew maker. From there,
Damn.
he became a prime target of interest for law enforcement agencies across multiple countries. However, El Pozolero managed to evade the authorities for 4 years, but
What?
they eventually caught up with him and his crew members in 2009 when the authorities
Damn.
received intel that they were partying in the Baja Seasons neighborhood. So the law enforcement officers decided to pay them a visit. The raid was successful, but not without complications. El Teo, El Pozolero's boss, managed
Yo.
escape along with some of his men, but El Pozolero was so drunk and was in the midst of making another pot of soup that he did not know what was going on. When
Bruh. Bruh. Why your boss dumping? You still cooking? Yo. 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 Oh, I go on. Yo, I don't understand this.
authorities asked him what he was stirring, he said he was making seafood soup after his arrest on January 20th.
Yo. Bruh, I gotta laugh to stop. Sometimes you gotta laugh to stop from like, bruh, this is crazy, bruh. Bro, this is retarded. Crazy. This man's so busy cooking that he ain't even know there was raid in the place.
2009, the stew maker confessed to more than 300 bodies in acid over a period of 9 years. But with what the authorities found in a place called the Chicken Coop, they estimated the actual number was above 1,000 bodies. The Chicken Coop was an area in the city of Maclovio Rojas, Baja, Mexico, where El Pozolero installed a drainage system.
And he turned into a
massive
rat too.
clandestine grave where thousands of human remains were found. In August 2017, 3 new graves were found with over 500 pounds of human bone fragments. And this was what confirmed the fears of the authorities that Santiago's body count was not 300. It was, in fact, in the tens of thousands.
I knew it.
His arrest and confession. El
I knew it.
faced the justice system for his crimes.
Bruh.
He was charged with organized crime, criminal association, and illegal secret burial. He was not charged with murder because there was no direct evidence linking him to the deaths of the victims.
He wasn't killing them, but he was cooking them. God damn.
Pleading guilty to all the charges.
Who's worse, the nigga killing them or cooking
He
them?
never dissolved the bodies of women or children. He insisted that he
Who's killing? Who's better? Who's worse, the nigga killing them or cooking them? I don't know. Cause them families ain't getting no type of justice, bro. Honestly, them families ain't getting no type of justice.
not a dealer or killer or monster. He said he was just a man doing his job for a cartel. for an answer, but his wife told the press that he would only
Definitely
say, "I
wouldn't.
prefer my job than for my family to die of hunger." In closing statements, he asked God for forgiveness, and he apologized to all his victims' families, but the families of his victims never accepted his apologies, because El Pozolero never cooperated with the authorities to reveal the locations of the rest of his victims' remains. They believed that his apology was not genuine, because he wasn't willing to cooperate with the authorities and help in righting some of the wrongs he had done all his life. His sentence was criticized by many as too lenient and unjust, considering the
Damn.
magnitude and gravity of his crimes. Some argued that he should have faced life imprisonment, or even the death penalty, which is not legal in Mexico. Others claimed that he was a scapegoat for the government and the cartels.
Did he get out?
Receive a fair trial or due process. However, he was released from prison in April 2022.
What?
This sparked outrage and indignation among the families of the victims, who
Bruh, the stew maker is out. Y'all tripping. The stew maker walking amongst us right now, bro. We got the stew maker is out. What? The stew maker is what? You lying. The stew maker is not out here walking around us. No, you capping.
that even though he didn't directly kill the victims, he should have done more. Others claimed that he was a scapegoat for the government and the cartels, and that he did not receive a fair trial or due process. However,
This world ain't real, bro.
prison in April 2022. This sparked outrage and indignation among the families of the victims, who believed that even though he didn't directly kill the victims, he should have done more years behind bars.
Facts.
Because many of his
Probably.
victims were never
To me,
identified. To date, Mexican authorities are still
bruh.
human bone fragments and up to 16,500 liters of human matter across Tijuana and its surroundings. Now imagine all the
Bruh.
remains that still haven't been found, all the victims that will remain nameless forever, and who knows how many of his disciples are still in the business of making soup with the remains of human bodies. Did El Pozolero get a fair sentence, or should he have spent more years in prison than he did?
I don't know, bro. I'm not no judge, but
Responsible for the
I don't
deaths of his
know.
victims. Share your thoughts with us in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with friends. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon.
Yo, this is crazy, bro. Y'all have it. My thoughts on this is the stew maker is crazy, bro. The stew maker is crazy. I don't condone none of that. I don't condone none of that. Let me know what y'all think. How many bodies y'all really think he done had? Like for me, I say at least 30, 40,000 people he done cooked. You know what I mean? If it was 30, 40,000 going missing a year, I'm saying he probably done cook 30, 40,000 because there probably was some other cookers and stew makers out there. But y'all drop a sub on the channel. Don't just look. Drop a sub, like, comment. You know what I mean? Interact. Let's go.